This is R2D Tech, and we're back again this week with a video, this time about the Galaxy Z Flip. Okay, so we're trying something new, obviously, a more podcasty style. We might even upload this onto Google Podcasts if you want to listen to it there. It's just something new that we're trying, and we're both, if you hadn't noticed, sitting next to each other, so it's going to be more conversational and less formal than usual. So I guess like the first thing that we always want to talk about when it comes to a new phone like this is the specifications, and we've got them all up on GSM Arena. I mean, it's got sort of things that you'd expect to find in a flagship.
Yeah, I mean, like pretty flagship specs, like the Snapdragon 865.
No, actually, it has the Snapdragon 855 Plus, which is slightly disappointing. I mean, we're going to get onto the price later, but it's very expensive. I mean, even more so than probably the flagship iPhones this year. I mean, obviously it comes with the Adreno 640 GPU, which is a flagship GPU, but then that was a bit disappointing. I mean, we always want to see the highest specs, like best processor, especially when you're paying $1,400.
But to be honest, I think the Snapdragon 855 Plus is like it's pretty similar. It's in between the 855 and 865. So like
to be honest, the performance will be very similar. It'd be surprising if you saw a major difference. I mean, other than that, in terms of like dimensions, it's slightly narrower in terms of width than your standard phone. Then obviously it's probably slightly taller than what you'd expect because it is that clamshell folding design. But I mean, that's what makes it so cool. When you fold it, it can be very small and very pocketable, apart from the thickness, which is something to consider. Although, I mean, if you're used to carrying AirPods or something like that in your pocket, the thickness won't bother you that much, probably. Right?
But also, I guess the hinge, it allows for more functionality as well. You can almost use it like a laptop style thing, where you can have it half unfolded on a desk, and you can maybe you can do a FaceTime or a Skype call on the top half of the screen, and be doing some productive other tasks on the bottom half, which is quite cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you're used to having a laptop that's this small.
Oh no, he didn't.
This feature could be very cool. But I mean, lots of apps are actually taking this into consideration. Mainly Samsung apps, let's get that clear right now. For example, the camera app, you can have the viewfinder on the top half if it's folded like a clamshell, and just some other features on the bottom. Or if you're, say, in the gallery app, you can be viewing the main footage or whatever on the top side and viewing the whole timeline on the bottom. I mean, I don't know how useful this is on such a small device, but it's definitely something cool. And if they open this up to developers, I can see how that would be really cool as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's really dependent on developers actually developing apps that will use these foldable phones, because it's such a new thing, and if developers aren't interested in it, then it's kind of not as important as it would be.
Definitely. I mean, apart from that, they've also put a really small display on the front. I mean, other folding devices, even the Galaxy Fold, when you had it folded, there was a pretty decent sized display on the front, so you could still navigate the software. I mean, on this one, they decided to have a very tiny display on the front, which can basically just show the time and maybe like parts of incoming notifications. They clearly didn't want you to use this as an actual display. One cool thing is that you can actually look at yourself if you're taking a selfie from the primary lens, but then again, I don't know how easy that would be on such a small display.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised they didn't opt for a slightly larger display, even twice the size.
Yeah.
You would be able to read whole text and stuff, which would be really useful, but it's kind of a bit small for my liking.
Also on the camera side of things, apart from on the back they've got the main camera unit, one of those is a standard wide-angle lens, and the other one is an ultra-wide. So they do give you the two lenses. Unfortunately, there is no telephoto, but like, to be honest, not many people use this anyway. And then on the front, where the actual display is, there's a center punch hole camera, which is just a standard selfie camera. Any sort of widening that you see on that would just either be software, or it's definitely not like part of the actual lens. So it's slightly disappointing, but to me that's not such a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think cameras are the main part of this phone, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, if you're buying this phone, you're probably not that much into taking photos with it. So
I mean, if you're spending $1,400 on a phone anyway, you probably don't really care about that stuff.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Yeah. So apart from that, you know, we've talked about software integration. There's going to be a few things which at first might be slightly glitchy because, you know, you're trying to use Android on a folding form factor, but Google are working pretty hard at making their software adaptable to folding devices now. And Samsung's One UI, which obviously runs through Android, is going to be working hard to do this as well. And since they've already made the Galaxy Fold, they've got some experience in this, and we saw how the multitasking on the Galaxy Fold was actually pretty impressive, you know, quite iPad-like. Yeah. I think though that's it in terms of this phone.
yeah, I mean, I think so far it's probably been the most impressive foldable phone we've seen so far. We've had the FlexPi Royale, which was kind of disappointing. That came out last year at CES, and it had a whole bunch of problems. The screen looked a bit bubbly, and it was just a really weird phone. And then we had the Galaxy Fold, the first one, which was really impressive, but it still had quite a few issues with durability. Then we had the Motorola Razr, which was, I think it was a pretty cool phone, but again it had loads of issues with, again, the durability. You could actually see the screen lifting up from the phone when you started to fold it, which was kind of worrying. But I think this has been the most impressive foldable phone we've seen so far.
Yeah, definitely. And holding it in your hand, you know, you might look at this online and think that's an absolute gimmick. I'd never use that, whatever. But when you actually do use it and you do fold it and you do put it in your pocket, you kind of realize how something like this could be very useful. And it is a lot more pocketable than some of the huge phones that we see nowadays, like the Galaxy Ultra, which is absolutely massive. I mean, this is the start of this sort of technology. So if you imagine that the Galaxy Ultra is absolutely huge right now, what if that could fold in half as well? All those features in a phone which can fold into a size of like a mini clamshell, that would definitely make things a lot easier to handle. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. So that's it from us this week. We'll probably be sticking to this sort of format from now on. Let us know what you think in the comments section. And obviously, as usual, if you really like the video, then hit the thumbs up button. And otherwise, consider subscribing as well. That would be really great. But see you in the next one.